The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRCMedia, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
This week on FRCmedia News, who did Fall River voters support in this week's presidential primary? Job seekers have another opportunity next week to look for work at the Chamber's next job fair. And the third iteration of Fall River Restaurant Week is coming up soon. All this and more coming up. It's Thursday, March 7th, 2024. This is FRCmedia News. I'm Keith Tebow. Just over 15% of Fall River's eligible voters cast ballots this week in the Fall River presidential primary. Voters had the option to cast a ballot for either the Democratic, Republican, or Libertarian Party primaries. On each ballot, there was a slate of candidates for president, party state committee man and state committee woman, and seats on party ward committees across the city's 9 wards. Here's how Fall River voted. In the Democratic primary for president, President Joe Biden received the most votes in his bid for re-election. All other candidates in the race dropped out prior to the election but could not have their names removed from the ballot. 542 voters in the city decided not to show a preference in the primary. Kevin Costa was the lone Democrat running for state committeeman in the 1st Bristol and Plymouth district, while Nadia Ann Paquette had a slight edge over Deborah Fastino for the state committee woman slot. In these races, votes needed to be counted in communities surrounding Fall River. In the Democratic ward committee races, all candidates on the ballot were declared winners. In Ward 1, that included James Hornsby, Clifford Ponte, and Denise Lorraine Ponte. In Ward 2, there were no candidates on the ballot, although there were 21 write-in votes. In Ward 3, Clara Fallon and Alan Sylvia won election. In Ward 4, similar to Ward 2, there were no candidates on the ballot, but 94 write-in candidates. In Ward 5, Ricky Tiff was the lone candidate to earn election. In Ward 6, there were 6 candidates who were elected: Robin Costa, Gloria Sadler, Eleanor Costa, Willie James Ellison Jr., Lori Ellen Lynn, and Donald Costa. 4 candidates were elected in Ward 7: Lyda Alba Lodi Perry, Sandra Dennis, David Dennis, and Susan DeYoung. 9 candidates were elected in Ward 8: Judith Conrad, Cheryl Furs, Stephen Camara, Megan Helen Carroll, Linda Pereira, Ronald Cabral, Kevin Costa, Ronald Weisberger, and David Oliveira Jr. And in Ward 9, they also had 9 candidates that were successful on Tuesday: Brenda Venice, August Venice, Thomas Athern, Michael Lionel Mayoza, Nadia Ann Paquette, Scott Paquette, Jason Burns, Liliana Gagliardi, and Lawrence Poland. In the Republican primary, former President Donald Trump won in Fall River with over 3,100 votes. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley finished second with just over 600 votes. The other candidates in the race had dropped out after the ballots became available to voters. In the race for Republican State Committeeman, Gabriel Boomer Amaral bested Angel Pantoja 2,290 votes to 672 votes, while Kayla Rose Churchill ran unopposed for Republican State Committee Woman. Michael William O'Regan was the lone candidate on the ballot for Ward Committee in Ward 1. The other wards had only write-in candidates. The Libertarian Party primary had the fewest voters. The top vote getter for president was actually no preference with 57 votes. Chase Russell Oliver had the most votes of those officially on the ballot with 14, followed by George Hornberger and Michael Rechtenwald with 6 votes each. Michael Termott had 2 votes, and Lars Damian Mapstead earned 1 vote. For Libertarian State Committeeman, State Committeewoman, and Libertarian Ward Committee slots. Only write-ins garnered votes on Tuesday. The next election for city voters will be on September 3rd as part of the state primary, where legislative and county seats will be up for grabs. The presidential and state election will take place on Tuesday, November 5th. The city of Fall River this week began the process of ending trash and recycling pickup for city commercial customers. Mayor Paul Coogan tells us the city's ordinance calls for the pickup of only residential trash, and this will rectify that issue.
There's 2,000 businesses in Fall River. We're picking up trash from 500 select businesses that some of them, I don't know how they got bins, where it came from. Initially, there was when the trash first started, there was what they called a pink barrel agreement, where we would, if they bought a pink barrel to raise money for cancer, we would pick up their recycling. But that was great because that was at a time when we were selling recycling to make some money. Now we pay more for recycling than we do for trash. So it's punitive the whole way across. I mean, we have to do something to end it, and we have to get back to being somebody that runs a government like it's fair. We can't select certain people to pick up trash from and others we tell them to go get a private vendor. It's got to be a policy that goes across the board, and that's what we're lurching towards.
The next step in complying with the city ordinance will be working with local nonprofit organizations to get them to also contract with local trash haulers. The mayor says that move is not as straightforward as eliminating commercial trash pickup.
Some of our nonprofits, Keith, have a residential component. People Incorporated, for example, has residential homes. Deaconess has residential homes. So we're going to have to find a way to melt those in. But by the same token, you know, People Incorporated has a building right here adjoining the government center, which has a number of bins and totes for an office building. That's not the intent of the trash pickup. That's a business. In that building, it's a business. Their homes, which are scattered throughout the city, will keep picking those up because that's where they have residences. But offices and places that can easily afford to pick up, to have a private vendor, we'd ask them to do that.
The goal of these moves is to reduce the cost the city undertakes in removing and disposal of trash and recycling. Prior to the mayor's tenure, the city had a pay-as-you-throw purple bag program and a monthly trash fee that was borne by city homeowners. Those fees have been eliminated, and the mayor says he's not looking to reinstate them as a way to curb costs.
I'm not sure that that's even been a topic of discussion yet. I have heard from people that say that's what we should do. But again, I'm not 100% married yet. I want to walk through this and see where we end up. My point is, I told people that there's not going to be a trash fee. I think there was a $10 a month on per apartment, but I don't know if that's fair. And other opportunities to save money. We're working with both Easy, Republic, looking at some things we can do to try to generate some money. And we'll keep going forward with our vendors first. With the advent of Diamond coming on, increased trash costs, there are things we have to do going forward that we're doing these first steps towards business trash and the large nonprofits that we're going to have to do because there's just no way around it. The way money is beginning to tighten on the state level, Fall River has to keep its city services going, and we're going to work with a number of creative ways to try to generate some money to help.
Mayor Coogan is putting the final touches on his next State of the City address that he will deliver before the City Council and School Committee on Tuesday. The mayor says his remarks will be a realistic look at the state of Fall River.
I'm not going to gloss over the mistakes or the problems that we have going on in the city. There are things that we can do a better job of. There are things that every city has to focus their attention on, and those are things that a mayor should have his eyes on. But by the same token, there's just so many good things going on in the city of Fall River that I know it's noticed statewide. I know it's noticed even by some of our local neighboring communities. They see that what we're doing here, whether it's on crime, our schools, infrastructure, water and sewer, we have a number of our communities that abut us looking for ways to get involved with some of the programs that we have going. And I just want people to know that we keep our eye on everything, and we're going to do that. And that the speech this week will be a highlight of what goes on in the city.
The mayor's address will take place next Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. in City Council chambers. The One South Coast Chamber is hosting its next job fair for local businesses and job seekers next Thursday from 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at White's of Westport.
It's free to everyone. We've got around 50 employers. I think by the time we actually get there, it'll be closer to 60. We're offering free headshots again, which is a great service. But people should come ready to, dress to impress. It's very important that they do bring lots of resumes. People should be ready to just really talk up their services. There's a real wide variety of jobs. There's driver's jobs. There are administrative assistant type jobs. There's sales jobs. It's really all over the map. So anybody with regardless of what your skills or what any individual really likes to do, they should be there, because there are openings, and there are openings for big employers, small employers, national employers.
Mr. O'Sullivan says the local job market for businesses seeking employees remains robust despite changing economic conditions.
It's changed a lot. Who's looking for work, what kind of work they're looking for. Unemployment might be very low, but there's still a lot of people that are out there looking for work, and every employer is still struggling to find employees. It's not quite like it was over the last 2 or 3 years. It's not that tight, but and people are, employers will tell you, where they might have 3 jobs and they wouldn't get any resumes. Now they're getting to be able to pick again, but it's not like 4 or 5 years ago. If you had 3 jobs, you might get 30 or 40 resumes. You might get 5 or 6 resumes now, which is much better than it was even 6 months to a year ago. So the job market's getting better, but there's still way too many job openings that are out there that are tough to fill.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Behavioral Health Clinician, Family Service Association, located at 151 Rock Street, seeks a full-time behavioral health clinician to provide outpatient treatment to individual and families of the Behavioral Health Center. Job number 205-03951. Packaging Designer, Rhode Island Novelty, located at 350 Commerce Drive, is looking for a full-time packaging designer responsible for collaborating on the strategy, conception, sampling, and launch of toy product innovations. Job number 205-04003. Elementary School Principal. The Fall River Public School Department, located at 417 Rock Street, is seeking a full-time elementary school principal to oversee day-to-day operations, handling disciplinary matters, managing a budget, and hiring teachers and other personnel. Job number 205-05471. Automotive Technician, Firestone Complete Auto Care, located at 748 Pleasant Street, is looking for a part-time automotive technician. For more information, call 508-916-2057. Republic Services, located at 1080 Airport Road, has an immediate need for the following full and part-time positions. Service Account Supervisor, job number 205-06992. Associate Account Manager, job number 205-05542. For more information about these and other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
My name is David Perry. I'm the president of the Greater Fall River Food Pantry. And what we do here is we provide food to clients that are in need. We're always trying to get more people involved in what we're doing. And trying to concentrate on youth, and it's all about helping people, and that's what we should all be doing, is helping someone. So it's a great opportunity for them to, come down here and give us a couple of hours a week. It's not long, it's 2 hours a day, and once they start volunteering, it's like a family, it really is. So getting these younger people involved, it's just great. It's great to see. It's great to have younger generations seeing what's going on in the real world, as we call it, and helping out.
I've gotten a new outlook on the community. I've been able to see all sides, helped me learn just a lot about Fall River as a whole.
We like to get students in from 14 years of age and older. It's not about the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry. It's about what the Greater Fall River Community Food Pantry does as an outreach. We want to reach out to the community. Most schools require that the students put in volunteer hours. We're a perfect example of receiving those students, and that way they get their hours accredited, and it gives them a good learning experience.
Volunteering here made you feel good, felt like you were helping out the community, and also it really helped me out with making my application stand out with having volunteer hours on them. Like when I'm applying for jobs, I've been on the hunt right now, and I've done a lot more interviews since I did charity work here. Makes you really stand out, and also just feels good helping out the community.
I love hearing other people's lives, how other people live, other people's families. It's interesting, and I really like to do this work.
Come down and see what it's like. Come down and take an opportunity to help someone else. Come and see what's really happening in the world out there.
Welcome back. The regional foodie community will again be able to take advantage of local dining deals beginning next week as the 3rd annual Fall River Restaurant Week gets underway. Organized by Viva Fall River, Executive Director Patty Rigo says the program has evolved this year.
Every year we've done it a little different just because we're always trying to be cognizant of making this easy on the restaurants, because of course running a small business is, God, it's so much work, and we don't want this to be a burden. We want this to be a benefit for them. So and then of course we also want to be inclusive of those restaurants that don't have sit down service, or who maybe aren't able to provide the price fixed 3-course menu. So we decided to be very, very inclusive this year, and we just said, if you'd like to do a 3-course dinner menu, perfect. If not though, if you're a counter service restaurant or takeout only, just give us a dining deal. So that dining deal can be really whatever you come up with. I mean, we encouraged people to do a sandwich, a drink, and maybe a cookie for this amount. But whatever it is, the combination was up to the business owner, because it's a reflection of what they have, and it was something to bring people in so they could see the rest of the menu.
This year's lineup has also expanded and become more diverse.
The first year, just want to say this, we had 12. Last year we had 21. This year we got 25. So really, really excited about the growth. And I do think that's attributed to the fact that we decided to move over to the dining deals, which allows for a lot of the counter service restaurants, like the Latin American restaurants, to participate. We had an incredible showing from Latin American restaurants. So that makes it even just more rewarding experience for everybody. So basically all of the menus and the details of each restaurant, not only the operating hours, but the hours of the deal, which is important because we don't want people to go and not have a great experience, because that's not what this is about. So you go to vivafallriver.com/restaurant-week, and you can find every restaurant on there. They have their own page with the menu. You can even download the menu if you want to take it with you. That's kind of how I am. I like to look at the menu ahead of time. There's photographs of some of the items, and yeah, it's just it's really all there for you. There's a commercial. We even have a tipping calculator on the landing page this year, just to help you. We just want to make this the best experience for everybody.
As always, the primary goal of Fall River Restaurant Week is to introduce the region to the wide variety of restaurant offerings across Greater Fall River.
We're all creatures of habit. We go to the same restaurants. This is an opportunity to reach out to a whole different segment of people who might not ordinarily think of your restaurant, but because we're promoting it under this great promotional umbrella, and we're doing commercials and we're doing this, it invites people. It's a way of inviting people into your restaurant. So I think that they've seen that they get some new, definitely new people in. I hope those people become returning customers as well. And I think the smaller restaurants, I mean, how many times do you hear people say, oh, I didn't even know that was there, or when did that open? So this is really an opportunity for some of the restaurants who don't have the promotional money to do, large scale advertising. Like, we help them with that. So you're kind of part of this restaurant community.
Secondarily, Restaurant Week works as a potential catalyst to expanding Fall River's tourism base.
People will drive to go and get a meal. They will go for a dining experience. And that's what we're offering here, are authentic, affordable experiences. And I think that's one thing we can all agree. The food's fantastic. And the atmosphere, it's always like family. And, every place I go, there's not a restaurant that I go to here that I don't feel like you get that, like you're part of it. Food is a common denominator for everybody has to eat, and everybody enjoys it, and there's traditions involved. So you can do things that are just based on the food, just go and try it because of XYZ, or you can expand it and add a cultural layer. You can combine it with art, you can combine it with culture, you can combine it with walking tours. I mean, there's so many different iterations, and we have such a vast variety of different cuisines. So it makes it kind of like fun and easy, but it's also a way to get people to come to Fall River, and then once they're here for that meal, then show them all the other attractions, show them all the other things they can do.
Fall River Restaurant Week will last 10 days, beginning March 15th and concluding on March 24th. Finally, this week, funeral services were held today for longtime educator and local arts advocate Kathy Castro. She passed away last month. Ms. Castro was an educator at the New Bedford Public Schools and at Bristol Community College. Her impact on the regional arts scene was extensive, including serving statewide on the Massachusetts Cultural Council and locally as part of the board of Little Theater of Fall River. She was also a member of the Fall River Rotary Club. She was also the producer and host for many years of our Arts Alive program here on FRC Media. The program spotlighted local fine and performing artists. Our own Steve Rice produced this tribute to Kathy.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Arts Alive.
Welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today with us we have Lulu. She is a 13-year-old domestic short hair. She is a very sweet cat. She's a good lap cat. She was an owner's surrender. It was no fault of her own. It was just unfortunate her original owner's health was rapidly declining. I think she would make a good little cuddle buddy. If you have kids in the home, I'd probably suggest older kids, only for her benefit. She's used to being in a very quiet setting. She's super sweet. She loves to cuddle. She doesn't mind being held. You can walk around with her. So if you want to come down and meet Lulu, you can call Forever Paws Animal Shelter to make an appointment to come meet her. I know Lulu would love it if you came down to make an appointment to see her.
Today with me I have Zeven, Z-E-V-E-N, yes. She is also a Puerto Rico dog. She is 3 years old. Zeven is super sweet, very happy-go-lucky. She is going to need basic training. She's pretty good on the leash. Pulls a little bit, isn't horrible. Super sweet, friendly dog. She is spayed. Zeven is spayed. She will be up to date on all her shots. If anything, she may just need a couple boosters when she does go home with you. If you're interested in meeting Zeven, go on our website, foreverpaws.com, and fill out an application. So she'll definitely make a great dog for someone. So come down and meet Zeven.
That's all for this edition of FRC Media News. Please visit our website, frmedia.org, for all the latest news and local information. FRC Media News airs Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. For all of us at FRC Media News, I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.